Oh, look, we're here. We're live. New and improved. Just kidding. It's the same.
I mean, we're kind of improved.
It's just us.
I'm toothless now. Toothless.
How many wisdom teeth do you have?
0.
Well, I mean 0 now, but how many does one have?
4.
Are they all up here?
No,
There's no bottom ones.
No, you got 2 here, 2 down.
Okay. And they yanked them all out.
They yanked them all out. I got 2 big holes back
Crushed
there
them up.
That's right.
Yeah.
Actually, the dentist snorted them in front of me. It's like, Jesus.
That's the kind of thing, like, if you're kind of screwed up, you tell your kids that's what the tooth fairy does. Well, she grinds your teeth into powder and she snorts them, like cocaine. It's like cocaine for tooth fairies. I do tell my kids strange things, but not that. Not yet. Not yet.
I like it.
Are we thumbsing up for audios?
I know.
Right,
Audio
looks
is
good.
fine.
Looks
Homegrown
like
son.
Homegrown son. Good morning, my friend. We actually sent you a package yesterday.
Well,
It took me
surprise.
forever to get it in the mail, but hope it finds you doing well. So yeah,
That's
there you
right.
go. The whole nation of Finland salutes us. I feel like there can't be that many people in Finland, so that's impressive. But
Jonathan, you getting some praise on your Falcon video as well.
really,
Yeah, Brian told me. He said, watch Falcon videos. Now he wants one.
singable lines. Thank you. They're going so fast I can't even catch up.
We hear the sniffing.
That's the tooth fairy sniffing Sean, snorting Sean's. They take the little notes the children write them, the tooth fairy notes, and
Roll them. Right
it's a
next to the
weird.
bed.
No, I hope my children aren't watching. They probably are. So occasionally they do.
I've been doing
but
this
with
too long. Too old for this.
Just all
Give me
all
another.
red-eyed,
Come
like
here.
little tooth fairy, pointy ears and wings. It's do you remember that? Is it The Rock who's the tooth fairy in that one movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would like to picture. Snorting your teeth. Been a tutu with wings.
Imagine if you told your kids, like, hey, so the tooth fairy kind of works like a tax person. You take your old teeth to them, they take them, they refine them, and then they go back in there and they shove them back in your head. Maybe not tax, but like a repair person.
Ned says that Gretchen did share, because that was the sexiest Falcon picture I've ever seen. I don't know if you saw his Falcon. It was like a double Falcon.
What?
Because it was Falcon amp and the Falcon guitar. It was
Oh.
amazing. But it was pretty amazing.
So, yeah, in a way, you should call yourself like the Falcon. Like, I think you have all the right in the world to own the domain Falcon.
Instead of Ned's Donut Shop, it should just be Ned the Falcon.
Yeah, the Falcon.
What's the person who flies a Falcon? Like, they put them in their little arms and they have little hoods and they make them go and like kill rabbits and stuff. A falconer, or is that a falconer?
A falconeer? Is that it? Or something like that?
Sure.
Something. I think it's ear is the
I feel like it's one of those things that has a strange name, but we're going to go with that. Falconry.
It's cool whenever they like pet their heads and stuff. I'm like, what? Pretty awesome. Cocaine is not a good drug to alter reality. Wait until it is all you care about. You won't care about your own life. Okay.
I mean,
well,
that is true. We don't really think you should do cocaine.
Yeah.
To be clear.
Not telling people to do cocaine.
We're anti doing cocaine.
Sometimes.
Most of the time.
Those beers.
But anyways. So there you go.
One who practices
Falconer. There, Mayor McCheese is always coming up with in clutch situations where he needs things. Have either of y'all tried Fralin Blues special pickups? Supposed to be comparable to Twisted Tellies. Yes, but very briefly. But I will say I almost have never played a Fralin pickup that I didn't like because they're very good. So it's really just finding the right flavor. Look at that. How was your birthday celebration? It was just Sean's birthday.
Thank you. Thank you. It was.
None of us cared that much.
No, it was pretty bad. They actually made fun of me right away. But no, Monday was awesome. It was like this was my first birthday that was just like a really good day. Like it wasn't
Nice.
like over the top. It wasn't anything crazy. But everybody that I saw a bunch of people. I talked to my dad some. We all hung out and ate lunch, and it was funny. They watched me almost like choke on a sandwich because of the holes in my mouth. Like I'm like
That was
trying
funny.
to chew in the front of my mouth.
Little Jimmy John, or not Jimmy John's, Jersey Mike's birthday Jersey Mike's. Just what you need is jalapenos and cheese steak
Yeah, it's
on
all
your
crumbly
when you've had
in my
your-
holes.
Your teeth out. Ugh. God, that's
Crumbly in
horrible.
my
That's a
holes.
horrible. What a friggin' horrible
And then
thing.
I hung out with my friends after that.
You had cheesecake, red velvet cake.
So much cake.
A lot of cake.
But it was just laid back. It felt like the whole day was like a nice laid back. We did work. We had fun. Yeah. And then coolest gifts I got thus far. I got some cool cards with some nice, well-written notes in them from some of my friends. That was great. I got a Sting album that has Englishman in New York on it. My friend Mason got that for me, which is a joke, an inside joke between he and I and my girlfriend that is hilarious.
I can imagine.
Listen to that song. It's great. My mom and stepdad bought me a miter saw.
I saw that.
That was badass.
DeWalt too, man.
Yes, I was like, hell yeah. I didn't even know how they knew to get that.
No Harbor Freight junk for you.
That's right.
Real tools. So
And this one is probably the cream of the crop. My grandmother, who is amazing, and she's the one who kind of got me into guitar and music and the idea of listening to cool music like Jimi Hendrix and all that stuff. I had a Jimi Hendrix tape as a kid, which you're probably all like, Sean, you're too young to have a tape. But I did, and she got me tickets to see the Foo Fighters, which were sold out. It was amazing. Great time.
that's pretty amazing.
That's right. Enough on the birthday, though. That was it.
Nick Bradley is an Englishman in New York.
Dude, right? Like, you got to listen to that song. Do you have a walking cane?
We also got some greetings from southern France, which is kind of awesome.
Cool.
Asheville's a little far away from us. It's like 4 hours, but he should still come say hi.
Yeah.
And we like to go to Asheville occasionally. So
Please tell him to come. Oh, Nick Bradley. That's our golf pro friend. That's funny. It took me a second. I was like, what's that name sound familiar?
There you go.
You are an Englishman in New York. That's sick.
All right, guitar thing.
Awesome.
Sean, you got a list pulled up here, and it's exciting. Tell us what your list is, Sean.
All right. So Sweetwater does this cool thing, and I just think it's cool as like a guitar player.
Yeah.
And honestly, with all the different instruments I like too, I can go on here and they have a top 100 list for everything, and based on how the frequency at which it's being bought and how recently it was released, right?
Yep.
So you'll see things pop up on this list in a day, and then in 2 or 3 days, you'll see them come plummeting back down.
Because you said the list has changed since you saw it yesterday,
Yes.
right? Like things have dropped down or moved up.
Exactly.
Good morning, Dan. Have a good day at work.
Have a great day at work.
Thanks for being a member.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in to us too. Before
We
you go
love
to
you.
work.
We
How
love you
silly is
all.
that?
Yeah, no, I mean,
That's pretty wild.
it is kind of silly.
Yeah, to be like, oh, that's cool, man.
But we appreciate
How did you
it.
get to that 100 list?
So if you go to their opening page, like just type in sweetwater.com, you'll see what's hot or something like that. You see that in their top.
What's new?
Yeah, what's new? Click on that.
And then we got it filtered for guitars
Yep.
and
Okay,
guitar
all right,
accessories.
I'm going to share this so
Yes.
people can see this on
All
the
right.
screen.
We're
Yep.
putting, because why wouldn't we want to pump up Sweetwater here? Because, guitar.
With 0 referral links.
No referral links. No nothing.
It's fine. Just tell Ed. We said every time Ed, my guy, messaged me the other day.
We
He's
have
like,
the same guy,
someone. People have been mentioning you. I don't understand. I don't think he understands. I don't think he knows that we're like a YouTube channel, which is funny. I don't want him to ever know.
I don't want him to know
ever
either.
know. And I'm ashamed of how many things I buy from him. So, anyways,
Yes.
it's fine.
It's great, right?
So,
yeah.
here we go. Okay, so
you got our list. There we go.
some of the things on here are surprising to me.
Yes. So if you go over to Derek, you're on all products. If you look at the top, you can actually go over to guitar and guitar accessories. Click on that one for me. That's the list that we're gonna do.
Yeah, that's what we're looking at.
Even though there's stuff like I know me and Derek get off on the camera stuff and video stuff, and then audio and pro audio and drums and
The
stripper poles.
it's funny to me how many pre-orders are on this list.
Yes. Yes.
So like number 1 is a pre-order for the custom electric guitar Les Paul.
4 out of the first 5 are pre-orders. If you want to take notice to that.
I mean, I kind of get the Epiphone, right? Because that's a cool color, right?
Yeah.
Wait, is there anything special about that one other than it's a new color?
Well, let's see. That's what's cool. We can dive in.
We
I'm
can
gonna
just
dive
see.
in.
Oh, it's a Sweetwater exclusive.
Sweetwater exclusive.
Okay, so that makes sense.
Viper blue.
There's our pal Ed.
So Sean, nobody can see what you're doing.
No, that's okay.
It's all right. They don't need to see what I'm doing.
We're just looking at it.
talking.
We're
You
just
don't have to
talking.
go to each one. Yeah, you're
Nah,
fine.
don't
Don't
go
go
to
to
it.
each one.
You
Yeah,
don't have to
we're
go to
just
each
kind
one.
of diving into this one
No,
to kind of.
I'm just curious as to like why
What's
this one was
special.
on there.
Yeah.
So that's Sweetwater exclusive, and the same thing with the SG. But number 2 is one that you're interested in, Sean.
So and y'all can all make fun of me for this. I follow Behringer hardcore. All right, and here's why. I like to get really cool niche gear that usually I'd have spent thousands of dollars on at a way fraction of the price. I know that's a bad thing to do. I'm a bad person. You can tell me.
You
You can
horrible.
say, Sean, you're a piece of garbage. But they have the Behringer spring reverberation unit, right? So this is actually a spring tank unit that you can run different things into for only $200. That's
Which
dope.
seems really crazy. Like, how
That's
much is
crazy.
a
Well, I
not
have
Behringer one?
I have a vintage hi-fi spring reverb unit that somebody gave me, and it's probably worth around $500 to $600. It's cool. It's not like it's meant for like hi-fi audio systems.
Yeah.
But I use it on music stuff because it sounds really good.
Sounds cool.
It's a really fine-tuned one. Yeah. But I mean, that to me is dope. It's cool to see it at number 2. I didn't know that they actually released this. I deleted all my social media stuff.
Right.
So
Yeah.
0 social media action for me right now, which is good. It's a good thing. But it's nice to see that they actually did pull through with this one and put it out. Outside of that, we got like the
Yeah,
SG.
the SG, I mean, like,
That's cool.
there we have,
Yeah.
just so you know, I need someone to buy this because
It's good.
It's going to bother me until someone buys it because I want it, but I can't buy it. But it's the Wildwood Spec Custom Shop SG in a very similar blue to that.
Yeah.
Do we have that many pictures of that on the
No, but
It's not up yet.
Somebody had it on hold, so
Yeah,
I didn't do
right.
photos.
And then
they
it
just-
fell through.
Yep.
God, it's good.
It's great.
It's so good. It's
It's
frustratingly good.
The weight of it is kind of insane, right? Like it is so light.
I was playing it into a super reverb this morning. I came early just to play it for a bit, and I don't do that too often. Like, it's really good.
It was really good.
God, it's just good. Okay.
This is going to be one of those me and Johnny haggle over it together.
What
We're
if
like,
we just? What if we shared it?
Well,
custody.
What if you got it every other weekend?
Like Jonathan seemed to be with his kids, shared custody.
No.
well,
It is my this Friday is my 21st wedding
Oh.
anniversary.
Well, at this
You're at
How
legal
am I
drinking
so?
age.
How am I so old?
Your marriage can legally drink now.
Here's what's weird, right? This is going to be this Friday. I will be an exact split of how old the years I was not married and the years
Meet
I
in
was
the
married.
middle. You
21
met-
years of not being married, 21 years of being married, which is kind of weird.
What was
Makes
better?
I didn't realize
It's hard to remember the before times.
You got married at 20.
I was 21, man.
That's right, Derek.
No sense.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
It's not a sinner like some
Worked out
people.
for me. It's worked out for me pretty good. In fact, I had a handmade egg sandwich for my own chickens this morning that my wife made with coffee. My wife is awesome. She pours me coffee every morning.
Does she like
She
love
makes
you or
me
something?
eggs.
What
I
the
think
hell?
she loves me.
Skylar made me
In the
coffee
morning,
this
she
morning. I
loves
can't
me.
say too much.
But then it like changes throughout the day. They're
Goes down.
if you're married, you understand that. But in the mornings, I'm always loved in the mornings. So anyways,
It's not afternoon delight.
but anyways, number 4,
EVH Wolfgang.
Wolfgang.
Yeah, and some of these, like I get it. It's cool. I think
That's driven sort of by like there's always like certain players have the cult around them, right? And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but like just like with Silver Sky stuff or like John Mayer,
Yep.
and I don't know anybody more deserving than Eddie Van Halen probably of that. But I think there's a big push too with his son that they're designing this stuff and doing the hollow bodies and it's kind of neat. So I get that,
Well, and then we got the Dr. Z X-ray. You were
This one
telling
is-
me about this before.
This one is surprising to me. That many people are into this. I just saw that it was a thing. I don't know much about the head. Yeah.
So it looks like we got a 4-knob setup here, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you know on it so far? What did you research on it? Anything? You know
Nothing.
what it is?
Click it. Let's read. I want to
Let
know.
me read. I'll read. Derek, don't sweat it.
Derek
Unless
is a
you want-
Dr.
There you
Z
go.
fan. I used to be. I mean, I'm not a fan. I just used to be way more like obsessed with him than I am now. Okay. British invasion inspired. So it's a Vox. Okay, I know about the DB4. Okay, so they're combining that. The DB4 they made for Brad Paisley, if I'm not mistaken. Just to have something like dark Marshall.
Just like that should be all of these. It should be, okay,
It's
it's a
a
box.
box. It's
All right,
fine.
next.
AC30 meets Marshall.
It is cool that it goes from 30 to 15 watts. I like
Sure.
that. I like a little half power swap like that.
Ooh, a post-phase inverter master control. Okay. It's like we put things like that. Who really knows?
Yeah, I know. It's like just more stuff, right?
Dr.
A
Z
tail
does
of
sound like a
2 amps.
supervillain. Someone's right.
Cool. Well, I mean, that seems cool. I would want to play one just to know. You know?
I like Dr. Z stuff.
Yeah.
Has he got the fan? Has he got a fan?
Up.
It doesn't really matter.
We'll go back.
I know people used to bitch about the Dr. Z fans, just like they're talking about they don't like the fan on the Gibson, the new the Falcon 20 or whatever it's called. But like one of my friends that I used to play with had one of the ones that had a fan in it. It stopped working, and Dr. Z legit just told him the fan was no big deal. He just put it in there to make certain people feel better. I was like, which he said also about the standby switch. So
It's all in your head.
anecdotal. Nobody get mad at me if that's not true.
I'm not
but that's
seeing
what I've
anything
heard.
about the fan, but there's
They probably don't. I don't
yeah,
know if
there's
they probably
only
do.
one photo of it too, so I can't see the back. I think
Goodness.
what we do
Doesn't
after
matter.
this, we went through these first 5 here. I think we just kind of scroll through, and as we see things that we want to talk about, we'll be like,
It's-
of course, number 8 being
Baby MA.
ABM,
I'm very excited. Here's the thing. I'm a little that, and we'll obviously can ask Magnus on this. So these have these NOS tubes in them.
yeah.
So where do you get them? Maybe they'll last forever. Because NOS, old tubes do last a lot longer.
I like to think Rod has a box in his attic.
I'd like to think
and
he
he
is.
goes up there every time they make one, and he's like, he puts on white gloves.
he just holds them and they're falling through his fingers like what's the little duck in DuckTales, the Uncle Scrooge, you know what I mean, when he goes in there. Yeah.
My
anyways.
shillings.
But it's wild to me that pre-order is number 8.
Yeah. Well, and it's cool to me, like, you're right about how many pre-orders there are. Even in the top 10, I think there's only 2 things that are not pre-orders, right? It's funny that the Boss IR2 amp and IR cabinet is still up on the
pre-order
floor.
is going to be anything that's out of stock as well, right?
Yes.
So maybe that's slightly skewed because it's,
Yeah.
some of these things have been out. Obviously, that's been out. I didn't realize how crazy it was that we had one of those to borrow when we did that video. Because our friend Bobby that let us borrow it, I guess he was just crazy early in line to get one and got it, and then they were like out. That's a cool pedal, man.
Listen, baby Bobby, that boy's got it unlocked. Don't forget it.
He's always watching. One eye always out. Joseph Felice is in the doctor's office. I hope you're not dying or anything. So make it back safe. Glad you're listening.
Yes.
We love Joe. But
Oh, okay. I want to talk to you about this because I've seen this, and part of me, because I've got the CE1 and I now also have that Space Echo, right?
yep.
The Boss BP-1 Wazacraft, the booster preamp. So it's supposed to be the preamp from those units.
Okay.
Hey, you think about that, huh?
So you could just clean boost or
I think it's just supposed to get the same kind of dirty kind of gain thing that those get, because on that CE1, whenever you I can throw it to the high setting and turn it all the way up. It's not necessarily like clean boost. It's pretty dirty. It gets
yeah,
filthy.
because it's just
Yeah, it's like
it's taking your amp and making it
nasty.
bam.
Bang.
That's interesting.
Would you buy something like that, or
Yes.
are you kind of like, yeah?
No, I would. Yeah, I am.
Do you
Because-
think that's is that just masking tone? I've been on an overdrive weird mental thing lately where I'm like, sometimes an overdrive pedal masks the tone of what you're doing and it gets dirtier. Then it's not so much pushing the amp. It's not an overdrive.
Well, that's what I'm
thing,
saying.
right?
When you're getting the distort. Because lots of people use overdrive pedals and turn the gain in the pedal down and the
Yes.
level up, right? So you're using it like a boost sort of preamp thing, anyways. And you're getting a little. If it's a circuit, you're getting a little bit of the character, no matter what, right? But something like this seems like, and I've been into this lately, just getting the sound out of the amp, right? Just making the amp sound more like itself.
Yeah.
And so maybe that might be useful.
Heck.
And I don't know if you guys, I always have the thing where I have 5 things I'm trying to decide between in my Sweetwater cart. So right now, I have a bunch of preamps in there because I think that I'm taking home this new, we got this used Martin. It's got a passive pickup and I need some sort of preamp, and I'm torn between the Fishman preamp and DI Pro. No, it's pretty awesome. It's what Robbie uses.
I don't like it.
Whatever. And it's silver. And it's Proser. It's got a boost. It's got a tuner. It's a DI.
Nothing against anybody.
Sean, do you own an acoustic guitar at the moment?
Sort of
Yes.
ish.
Yes.
Sort of.
Tons.
That's it. No.
Loads.
Are you going
Loads
to listen
of
to his
acoustic.
words or his eyes?
Loads.
But then I also have the LR Bag Session DI in there.
I like that one.
Not the Venue, the Session, the little one.
I like that one.
And then I also have the Bix, which is made by the people that make those the crazy expensive ones.
Yeah.
It's like 360, supposed to be super clean, but it's just real simple stripped down. Also has a boost, and it's a DI as well. I don't know what to do. So if anyone has opinions on those things,
the reason that I talk about the Fishman DI and that other one, the LR Bags Venue, or the what's the other one called?
it's a Bix, but it's made by the Grace Audio.
No, the
the
other LR Bags.
The Venue,
Yeah, there's the Venue, and then what's the other one?
the Session.
The Session, right?
Yep.
So working at the Rooster and running sound and stuff like that, I've been able to like hear all
Different
three of
ones?
those. Yeah. The LR Bags ones, that is just the block, right? That you throw the 9-volt into. The only thing that I don't like is usually the guy that's using it. Outside of that, it sounds great. That's not like
You're talking about the
pointed.
one that's just like
Yes.
the DI.
Yeah, it looks like a big old.
Both the ones
DI.
I'm looking at are the knobs on
Yeah,
top.
knobs on top. Those that I've heard, they all sound great. I love those. The Fishman that I heard and now this could have been settings too. Could have been the guy using it, but Robbie's always got good tone.
Robbie has some of the best friggin' acoustic tone ever.
Yes.
Part of it is because he tunes to D.
That's huge.
And so it just sounds like.
If you
but
drop
you've heard it
down-
live,
oh,
right?
it's so good.
It's almost unbelievable how
Well,
good it is.
It's the perfect, acoustic, it's just doing what an acoustic guitar should do, without any and he's plugging right in. There's no before the sound guy does anything.
Part of that is he's just a good player.
Oh yeah, he's great.
He's like, he's more than just like a singer who's just he's actually a great acoustic guitar
Yeah.
player.
He's not banging stuff out. He's actually
I mean, he is, but he's got a very good style. But his
There's
tone,
thought.
his acoustic tone,
he's putting thought in it.
is
all right?
amazing.
Don't listen to Jonathan.
no,
This
it's-
man's
it's-
putting thought in
and
it.
it doesn't matter really what guitar.
No.
It kind of does, but
Yeah.
I've heard him on a Taylor, on a Martin, on the other junk, and it's just always sounds like him.
Yes.
Downtuning, it does. It just has this full big old sound.
It does.
Just don't when you downtune and put on 3 capos, you should probably tell your electric guitar player what key you're in. And I've learned to adapt over the years. It's
Don't-
fine.
Never make him guess. What am I doing wrong?
Christian says to mention Sweetwater's gear exchange. Yeah, it's wonderful. Played on my PlayStation. Awesome. We like the gear exchange. In fact, I wore a Sweetwater gear exchange shirt one day, and we joked that we were sponsored by them, but we're not. That was a lie.
Not a chance.
All right, let's see.
Okay.
What else?
We talked about an Epiphone this morning that was $1,700. Let's talk
That's
about
the new. What is that? The Firebird, Derek?
Yeah.
Yes.
$1,700.
Well, we got the Adam Jones here for $1,500, right underneath it. Okay. What? How do we feel about just Epiphones over the $1,500 mark?
Man, it's just
I
well.
mean, what's the price on the Dave Grohl going to be?
I bet the Dave Grohl's. It might. Is it going to break 2?
I don't know.
Is it out there
You know
yet?
what?
See, do some sleuthing,
I would
Derek.
think
Tell
it's,
us.
I would think it's on here. Let me look.
I hope Dave Grohl dropped an elbow on him, and he was like, "No, it's got to be under $1,000."
That would be amazing.
That'd be amazing.
I just don't think there's a way though. It would be amazing, but I don't think they're going to make it if they're going to lose
Have
money.
you met Dave Grohl?
I haven't met Dave Grohl.
Have you met Mr. Feed the Homeless? Have you met the man with the barbecue?
He is a great barbecue.
The man with the
cook,
fresh
apparently.
pot?
The man loves barbecue. Briskets for days. Yeah, I don't know, man. And there's something weirdly, right? Like the made Mexico Fenders seem more palatable to me. Maybe it's because they say Fender. Maybe it's because I liked them more in the past, and I've never bonded with Epiphone stuff in the past. And it's so much better now. I'm like, my opinion was formed in like 1999. You know what I mean? So it
For me, starting 8 years ago on guitar,
right.
I never played an Epiphone that I was like, whoa.
Somebody's saying on here it's going to be $1,300.
That's not
$1,300?
bad if the Dave Grohl is only $1,300. I mean, that's actually.
I hope he does. I hope he had some influence on that and was like, no, I want kids to be able to buy it. You know, I could see him pushing for that. You
Yeah.
know? I can push for that. That's dope.
The Spark Brain said, I own the Epi 1959 Standard that was $999, great guitar with. Yeah, I've played a few of those, and they are great guitars. That stuff, I mean, Epiphone has come a long way from guitars I really did not enjoy to some really good stuff. And I see a lot of my students come in with like the Inspired by Gibson stuff or like that kind of stuff. And it is good.
That's great.
It is just hard. It's just weird to think of one being
It's hard to
$1,700, $1,800 bucks.
get behind it and be like, yeah.
John Washburn, did Jonathan decide to get the Martin triple? Pretty much. I mean, you know, I feel like it's all but a
done.
foregone
It's all but
conclusion.
forgotten about from Baxter.
That's true. It's horrible that I borrowed it and played a few things with it, and now it's hard for me to be like, oh yeah, look at there, the Falcon 20s on the list.
That's right, baby.
The amp with all the
Beautiful.
controversy.
Number 27.
What do you think of that Joshua Ambient Echo pedal up there? That MXR.
I was looking at that. You know what I think is funny? You tell me your thoughts on this. Do you feel like you're seeing more pedals, and this is going to be a little off topic, but they're kind of falling into almost like the Chase Bliss world of
A
like
little
how
bit.
they look?
A little bit, yeah.
Because this is one that I'm seeing that I'm like, man, that looks a lot like
It
that
does- it
Chase
does.
Bliss pedal. You know,
And
I'm
Chase
like,
Bliss has got some new stuff out, don't they? Don't they have one
they
new
do.
pedal out?
He came out with some that was actually super
It was a
awesome.
re-release, right? The Condor. He re-released the
Yeah,
Condor.
yeah, like a
Yeah.
hi-fi EQ preamp.
But
thing.
apparently it's super cool.
Yeah.
Right? And this is kind of cool. If you've got the old Condor, I read, you can send it to them and they'll put the new unit in your old box for $49.
Whoa, that's cool.
That's kind of cool.
I can dig that. I don't know about this, Josh. Who's this guy? Joshua. Who's Joshua? Oh, Joshua Tree. Oh, I get it now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what it's for. The Ambient Echo.
It looks cool.
I bet it sounds good. Well, I'm sure it sounds good. I'm sure it does that thing.
I wouldn't mind trying one of those just to see if that is like I'm always like I have too many delay pedals. Like I could buy a new delay.
I do too, but I don't know. I think about that, but then I'm like, okay, which one do I want to get rid of? Because it's like I have them set for. I'd rather have the pedals on there and just step on them and not touch them than to scroll through presets, which I know makes me sound lazy and ridiculous.
Listen though, a preset.
It's hard to scroll through
hard
presets,
to
like
scroll through a
especially
preset.
like there's times when I'm jamming or like in certain songs where I want to go in the song, and it's really hard to have to scroll through. Now,
Oh, yeah.
you know, I know you can like make a scene, your helix, and blah 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 blah, but
Yeah, but you know what's way cooler than that? Being a badass and using the same sound on there. That's
oh, the
what I
Mighty
think is
Woodrow
cool.
he said we can. Yeah, man, we would. I'd love to actually just hear it.
I'll loan
Even
you
if
on
you-
my. Heck yeah, dude. Bring it down. We'd like to do a little video on it.
Thank you, John Washburn. I appreciate that greatly. Ned, I'm with you, Ned. Presets are not really rock and roll.
It's not, you know. Rock and roll is stepping on it and it being a little out of time and you being like, oh no, and then dropping to your knees and get down there and be like, oh shit, there's no tap tempo.
Damn it. Well, have a good day, Peter. Peter's off to work, or
you
off to
later.
do something. Well, yeah, I don't know if you've ever seen the videos of like of Albert Lee. You know when he plays that country boy thing.
Yeah.
Like when he's picking that, the second note is delay on everything.
Yeah.
Right? Because you hear it, you're like, wow. I mean, it's fast anyways, but you're like, whoa, that's fast. But there's a one repeat slapback delay on the whole thing,
Yeah.
right? And there's these cool videos of him doing it live, and it's a rack unit. Because there was no like pedal on the floor back then, and there's no like tap tempo. So he'd walk back to it, and he would hit it and hear where the thing was, and he'd count it in his head, and then he'd count it off to the drummer.
Yeah, you would.
And I was like, that's pretty cool. But that was the live thing. He'd go dun dun, and then when he got that dun dun, and he'd shoot dun dun, 2, 3, 4, dun dun dun, and I was like, that's awesome.
You know,
That's
that
rock
is-
and roll.
that's-
It's actually country, but it is rock and roll.
But that is badass.
That is badass.
You know, let's talk about, we'll have a little sidebar here. I was talking to somebody the other day about this. I was like, what is rock and roll? You know? I was like, and not what is rock and roll, like, oh, guitars and drums and no, dumbass. I mean, what is rock and roll? Rock and roll is just doing it. It's like taking a hammer and hitting a damn nail. And you, boom.
Well, not to open a can of worms, right? But if somebody was going to do that today, where a song was like technical and fast, and it hinged on there being this delay second note, do you know how many like computers and click tracks and contracts we had? And if it wasn't there, they'd be like, well, we can't do it. Do you know what I mean? Then you got Albert Lee.
Who worked at that. That man sat there and did that so many times that he could do it. He could probably get to the point where he knew every night right about where to get it to. And he would walk back there and hit it 2 times.
They hear it.
And go,
They'd be like,
boom.
all right, done. 3, 4.
And you're in.
Ba-na-na-na-na.
That
Blazing.
is rock and roll.
I mean, it is rock and roll. I mean, that's the kind of thing that I love about music, and that's what I think sometimes. Not that you can't have a good band or a tight band with click tracks
Oh,
and all that
yeah.
junk.
That's
but
fine.
that's what I feel like it steals from me, the joy of just like doing it. You know, sometimes.
And having it to where you're actively doing the situation, right? Not, well, our computer went down, guys, so we can't play the show. Like, what the hell is rock and roll about that? Like, you know, forget the computer part. Like something withholds you from not playing the show. And what happened to the show must go on?
Dude, I've played some
What
stupid
happened
shows.
to the show must go on? You had a pedal board
and
burn
some
up in a trailer,
ridiculous
dog.
thing. Well, that is true. I did have that.
And what do? Did you just not play a show for 3 months while you figured that out?
We did it. Went out and did it.
Damn right.
But I mean, I don't know if you've played any shows at like the level we're all playing at. You've made do.
That's right.
I mean,
Nobody needs a difference.
Country boys
Probably
make
not.
do. Don't forget it.
You got to make do. That's right. God, I'm trying just thinking of all the times where I'm like, this is not ideal.
Well, how many times have you went somewhere and played whatever was the stage amp there because they said you're using our back line, and you did it? You didn't sit there and go, I can't play the show because get out of here. Shut the hell up. Play the
Man,
damn amp.
that's a whole different thing. Like backline amps. Sometimes you win. Sometimes you win the lottery. And sometimes. Oh, we were talking. I was telling Derek the other day. I played this showcase during like CMA week in Nashville for this girl, and I kind of had told her family like that we shouldn't. She should. Well, it wasn't me. I was just getting hired, but I was like, I don't know if you should do this, right? Because it was one of those like, you pay some money and you go, and the industry people are gonna be there, and maybe, which really just means they've been invited. None of them are gonna show up, right? Probably. And they're gonna record it, and it was just the whole thing was.
It's happening.
Well,
That's what that is.
yeah, and we got there, and they thought the girl. It was just all a cluster, you know what? And it was like, you're not singing the tracks. And she's like, no, we talked about this. Like, I've got a band. Like, she had hired a band. She hired me, and I put the band together, and it was just a mess. So they really didn't have it set up for a band.
Yeah.
And then they did it, and then. They said the whole thing was in writing. They said the whole thing was fully backlined. My amp choices were one of those old Fender Acoustasonic, like acoustic amps to plug my pedal board into, or this old like Fender Frontman with like the tone knobs like broke off. And I was like, I don't know.
Hell yeah.
That was a really bad one. And I was like, there's just no way. There's no, and it. I'm sure it did not sound good. But we played that show, and she did her showcase, and lesson learned.
Gordon Huskin said pedal boards are not rock and roll. He said use the house amp and smash it on stage.
Well, I mean, there's always that.
I mean, sure.
Put your boot through the cone
exactly,
of
yeah.
the old '70s twin.
And then you just never play in that venue or probably that
Walk
city
out to
again.
never be heard of again.
Yes.
I mean, I feel like there was a time where that would just be like people would just shrug that off. Like, yeah, well,
They're like,
he was feeling it.
they were a rough band that night, huh?
And then these days,
now you're blacklisted and you can't go back, and it's like there's radius clauses and fucking, also not rock and
less
roll.
rock and roll. That's what we call bureaucracy.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, don't go destroy people's things, but
Also, come on, like, we need to meet in the middle. Let's have some meeting in the middle. Let's have some.
I mean, the best thing is when you go to your hotel room and you set the mattress on fire and you throw it out the window.
Exactly.
Am I right?
That's meeting in the middle.
Joe Walsh it.
Because you Joe Walsh it, and then you pay the bill.
I was gonna say, if you're
Then
Joe
you
Walsh
pay
and
the
you pay
bill.
for it, you feel bad and you pay for it.
That's meeting in the
probably
middle.
fine. That's
It's not, doing that and then being like, yeah, fuck them. You're gonna meet in the middle.
you think he really remembers if you paid all the bills? Probably not.
No, have you seen that clip of him talking about a Les Paul in the setup?
Yeah, yeah, I have. It's really funny. I like that it's become a meme.
I don't know. Destroying people's things is pretty rock and roll.
Mayor,
right.
he says no one ever talks about the poor stage floor. Also true. Also things that are incredibly disgusting. Like if you played on enough stages in like little honky tonks with like that nasty carpet, like AstroTurf on the stage, and your boots you stick to it, like can't walk without the.
Well,
Because there's so much nasty beer.
nasty beer, and here's the other thing, and I know you've seen somebody do this. Here's one thing as a sound guy at the Rooster, and now the Rooster's evolved too. We'll talk about that here in a minute. Let me tell you something. If you spit on a stage floor, I will beat your ass. That's disgusting.
I have been not spitting on the stage. That is disgusting. But I have puked behind stages before. Like because I got sick and I was like playing with like the flu or something on the road or ridiculous things or had food poisoning. Like I've seen friends like puke, have to go puke. And
I would be so pissed if somebody puked behind my stage.
Well,
Well,
our stage is like tight to the wall too,
Yeah.
so it would be
I'm telling
a nightmare.
you, I know. I've thought about this before. I know no one cleaned those things up, right? Like it's just, I don't know. Maybe someone did, but I don't know. There's
Well,
just some of
listen.
these places that just have decades of accumulated filth on the stage,
I've played.
and you're
There's
just like, ugh.
maybe we should rephrase it too. If you spit on a stage that you can tell the people around it care about it.
Yeah.
I've played the clubs
That's
where
different.
there is
That's
no
different.
like the stage is this ate up floor that has spray paint all over it and stickers and it's demolished, right? You puke behind that stage, you just added a whole nother day to that history. That's it. You have done nothing
There's
to
plenty of places like that,
it. You
right?
couldn't kill it,
You know, like, but I've seen dudes get sick, like have food poisoning. I've seen guys just be so drunk that they,
There's a difference between the CBGBs
right.
Yes.
and the Bluebird.
That's
Cafe.
right.
Yes.
Yeah, you can't puke at the blue.
The Ryman and whatever.
Guys,
Yes.
speaking of, we just said Ryman. This has absolutely nothing going on to what we were talking about.
That's okay.
That doesn't matter.
We were
Hard
talking
turn.
about Jason Isbell yesterday.
Yep, Jason Isbell.
He is going through a divorce. Did you know?
Is he?
Divorced? Yeah.
No, I mean I'm not surprised.
And and he's sick right now. People have been complaining about his singing on this start of this new tour.
Well,
Anyways,
Really?
Here's what I
completely
think.
random popped in my mind when you said Ryman.
Jason, this is a win, buddy. Don't take this one. Take this one on the head.
Excellent acting in Flowers of the Killer Moon, by
Yeah.
the way.
Oh yeah,
Excellent acting is what the D-Man said. He said it was phenomenal. We all got to watch it too.
I kind of do want to watch it now.
Jason, this is a new turn, baby. You got those new chompers? It's time. Hit the street. Hit the street running.
Mayor McCheese says sometimes you got to put a cigarette or a joint out on the floor, but clean it up yourself at the end. And then Gordon says that's greater than not putting out a joint on your forehead. I have seen a personal friend of mine eat a joint while we were playing,
I've seen that before too.
and I was like,
That's rough.
okay,
Was it the old tongue trick?
the
Was
old
it
tongue trick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo.
I was like, wow. I
Oh.
can picture it in my mind right now, him doing it. And I was like, oh.
Oh.
I mean, he is a badass, but what are you gonna do?
There is something cool. Like imagine if you saw somebody on stage before they played put a cigarette out on their tongue, you'd be like, "Oh my god!"
Derek, please tell me you see the Jason is available. Look at Ned's comment. That's the best pun we're gonna have. That's the comment of the day right there. Comment of the day. It doesn't get better than that, boys.
I
Who's
hope,
he gonna date?
dude. That's a great question.
You know? Hey.
He's going
gonna
Lainey
date.
Wilson.
Nah.
I hope he just goes hardcore. I hope he just, I want to see videos of Jason Isbell taking Nashville back.
Okay, here's the selfish. Like, are we gonna see him be really like heartbroken and self-destructive, which means he's gonna write an amazing album, like finally to rival Southeastern? Probably.
Northwestern.
No,
It's like, damn it, wrong. No, not California, you jackass.
I feel like maybe that's what's gonna happen. Seriously, I do hope he doesn't go all back into like binge drinking
He
and
just had his 12th year of sobriety, I think, a couple days ago.
So hopefully that holds for him.
you know, I think piss on her, dude.
After I watched the documentary, I was like, well, I don't know if this is healthy. But hey, who are we? Who are we to say?
Who are we to say? I'm sure
judge.
she's a lovely lady.
Kinda.
Sorta. All right.
Back to it.
Back to our list.
Sorry,
Back to our list.
That was a good little tangent there.
It was a good aside. Oh, the Masterbuilt Frontier. I bet that's a good guitar for $899.
Epiphone
I bet
Masterbuilt
I
Frontier
bet that's a
acoustic.
good.
I like
Under
to see
$1,000 acoustic.
those prices because I've played that. I bet that's a limited model from them. I've seen a guitar like that.
Oh, I'm sure.
I bet that blue is something they're doing right now.
Well, they're doing that. Is it the Miranda Lambert Gibson, Derek? That's blue like that.
Yeah, the Bluebird.
It's like the bluebird. It's not a hummingbird. It's a bluebird.
What if Jason Isbell and Taylor Swift hooked up?
What's gonna happen with
Crazy. Sorry.
old Travis Kelce? They're gonna be a throuple.
He won the Super Bowl. It's okay. You saw him scream at the coach. That is not a
fine.
good look. Everybody's like, oh.
He speaks his mind. He wants to be on the field.
Yeah. Yeah.
Evans just got into the tooth fairy snoring the teeth part. That's fine.
That's great.
And here's a question. Okay, this is interesting to me.
What's that?
The slash head, the slash cabinet is only number 48. The head's way up there.
Yep.
Which means a lot of people want just the head and they're going to run their own cabinet. I feel like if you get an amp like that, man, you gotta. I'd have my OCD would really kick in.
I am and I don't own any heads and cabinets, but I would want
don't
to
right
have.
now.
I want to have them be the same.
Not all the time. I mean, for the
always.
longest time, I had a generic. What was that little company, Avalon? Cab that made the cabs.
Yeah.
And I'd run all the heads I had on that one cab. And then at one point, I did have 2 little 112 cabs with different speakers because whatever. But if I'm getting the slash head.
Yeah.
I want that because I know the slash head's 100 watts. I'm just not sure if it's going to be that different from the M80.
Well, you wouldn't want to run it into like a crank stack or anything like that.
What? The best thing would be those old customs with the cushion. I do kind of like those, but I just think they look weird, like a balloon, it's like a puffer jacket for an amp for your amp. Before it was cool.
Yeah, it is. It looks like it would be like if you touched it,
cool.
your hand would stick to it. Like,
Oh, they do. It does.
Yeah, that's
Back to the
right.
puking and the beer and things.
Oh.
But I just think that's where, and I guarantee. So I can't imagine anyone bought the cabinet by itself, because that's dumb.
that would be hilarious if people
I
were
only got
like,
the
I
cabinet.
just want the cabinet.
But I mean, it is good looking. Because I also feel like these dark pictures, like it looks like that's black, but when it actually is that green snake skin kind of thing. But I feel like those pictures don't do them justice for that or the head. But anyways, and here's the $16.99 Firebird.
Yep, right underneath that, number 53.
So obviously, some people think it's worth it.
It's a
I
cool
don't know
color.
if well, the whole thing is cool, but
But 17.
I wish that was like $1,000, $1,100. I feel like if they can do the Dave Grohl for 13, they should be able to do that for 12.
Yeah.
My question was why is that so expensive?
That's. I will tell you this, man. When I used to work on the final assembly at Gibson in the dark days, those were the hardest ones to wire. They sucked. Not the Epiphones, but it was they were doing those non-reverse Firebirds, and it seems like we made them all the time. The wiring, it was just all these little stacked pot things, and I used to hate them.
Yeah. No good.
So I don't know. Who knows?
Who knows?
Is it? Click on it. Is it neck through? Like, is it one
It
piece?
looks like it, right?
Let's see the back picture.
You got
Turn
that.
it around. So maybe there. Maybe that's because that's all one chunk.
Maybe if I can I zoom in more?
Sure you can.
No, damn it.
Stop dragging my.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's a neck joint there. That looks like it's one whole piece.
That's probably why.
I hope so. That would be
Shining
cool.
light on all your questions.
Did they do other colors? Oh, they got frost
The
blue.
blue one's cool.
Blue one is cool.
I think I like the red better.
I might have to buy a Firebird
You
now.
would like the red better.
A man plays a red guitar.
9-piece neck through. You're right, Greg. You're right.
It's only a 15-piece body. It's more tone that way. I don't know. Or you can get that ESP for $49.
Show me the natural finish one. Show me the natural finish one. What else we got in here?
I gotta. Oh, some Yamaha love. Man, that's an
Pacifica.
expensive Yamaha Pacifica. Good
Don't
Lord.
forget it.
$2,200. I mean, they're probably worth it. They're good
$2,200.
guitars, but man, I wonder what makes that Yamaha Pacifica. It's professional. Okay. It's the professional.
You know, it's got another word on there.
If you're even looking at this one, you're a
It's
you're
got
a pro.
Rupert Neve designed pickup.
Oh, there's just what we want.
You know, Rupert
Probably like
Neve and
those,
his pickups.
Probably like those sweet Les Paul recording pickups. Only the highest
That's what I'm
fidelity.
saying. You know, Les Paul and those pickups.
Straight into the board. Get some of that John Lennon tone.
Recording guys, they always know. They know pickups.
Yeah.
They're like,
Yeah.
how can I ruin this?
Ned is on fire today. I feel like Derek's gonna really appreciate this comment.
His man skin out of his fly and say, oh no, I sat in gum? So that's why I like that you just call it man skin. I had to think for a second. I was
But
like,
Derek would do this to us. That's the kind of thing.
Derek has done this to us.
I was trying to save some.
Oh no,
Yes.
absolutely not.
Leave me out of this, boys. Leave me out of this.
Derek's been outed. We drug him out of the closet. Unwilling.
We have a lot of fun sometimes.
We do. I think that's a part of. I think that's a part of it, though, right? Like that's just what you do. So be
That
clear for
the man skin reminds me. There's this Instagram guy who does the '90s singers, and it's like they're having a meeting, and you can't tell what they're saying, but he sounds just like him. It's pretty. And at the end, he always says, "Let's end the meeting with a man whale," and they all do this, like Pearl Jam kind of thing. And it's hilarious. Man whale. We gotta adopt that.
I love it.
So yeah, old Gordon.
Gordon.
We are sort of hooligans sometimes.
We are hooligans.
We have shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
Got a Gretsch. Were there any other Gretsch? There's a few Gretches on there.
Yeah. We're kind of
Okay, pause us right there. That Fender Custom Shop Limited 70th anniversary.
Listen.
How is that 80 on the list?
Back in the day.
I'm just saying they have to sell a ton of those. Well, no, it's one of the ones where like click on that one. Click on that one. It's only $62.50. It's a steal. Man, that is beat to Shoreline Gold.
So the way they've got that set, that's all of their Fender custom shops are under that.
Really?
Because if you click, like Sean, when you go down
Yeah.
to different finishes.
Like I can go to other ones.
Okay, so a Fender Custom Shop Strat is.
Yeah. Like they got like a black one. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
70th anniversary. They just order them in all different colors and stuff. So.
Well, and that's and this is not to trash Sweetwater, but like when you're ordering custom shop stuff, you can order the like models for the year. So like when you go to NAMM and the custom shop is there, or in the olden days, you would see all these things that they were going to sort of like produce, right? They don't just make them, like it's when the shop orders them. Like you can get that, the limited 70th anniversary 54 Stratocaster or whatever it is. And that's what Sweetwater tends to have. But you can also spec them out yourself, which is a lot of the ones we get. We try to spec them out. But we get some of these things too.
Yeah.
But it's just, that's
a lot of
kind of
times
weird to have them all
Baxter
together.
like tweaks them. He'll like put in a specific color that he likes more
Right.
so than, what these
And
are.
it does, like a lot of times when they're doing their runs, the price is slightly less. When you start making tweaks, it's like buying it a la carte, I guess. So it does change some things. A la carte.
That's right. Well,
But anyways, there we go. So,
Yeah.
okay. So the expensive, funny shaped Martin is down there.
the new one, the SC28.
The new one. It's 4 better. What was the last one? Was it SC28 too? Maybe it was. I don't know.
It was the SC13.
13. It's
And
way
then-
more than 4
yeah,
better.
that's
It's
right.
lots better. I can't,
Yep. Yep.
It's like 15 better.
Yes. 15 better.
15 better.
I'm sure you can hear it. Actually, I do want to see one thing on this. Let me see if it has a bolt-on neck. It does have
Heck
a
yeah.
bolt-on neck.
Which we all know is better.
Very much so.
It's better in every way.
Leo said it. It's better. It's the best.
It probably sounds fine. I mean, like,
I think it's good. I enjoyed the 15 or the 13. I enjoyed
it's
it.
different. It's neat, right? I feel like if you're gonna play crazy rock and roll things on your Martin acoustic, I'd rather have that weird shape than just like a traditional shape with a cutaway, a random cutaway.
Oh yeah.
You know
Like
what I'm
to
saying?
me, that makes sense for Martin to do because that's like all of Martin's other guitars. And this might sound crazy, but they were original when they came out. It's like, oh cool.
Yeah.
So that is original in my mind, and I think
I think
why it
that's
sounds
neat
so
looking.
good.
Yeah, that's neat looking. It's cool. It's pretty
Yep.
cool. I like it. I'm into it.
That's right. You want to answer some comments before we bounce, and then
No.
no.
Yeah, we'll see. Who we got?
That's right.
Who we got?
Let's see. Mary McCheese says, "I hear you can pick out which car keys they beat your guitar with now for a slight upcharge."
Yeah, the Master Builds, there's like Mercedes keys.
Here's how I read comments. I don't pre-read them. I jump in. So if I start reading your comment, know that if I crack up, it's because I have no idea what I'm getting into. It's perfect. That's why Gordon gets me every time.
The Custom Shop.
Yeah, way to go, Gordon.
It's not quite as good as Ned's. Jason is available.
Yeah.
But
Jason is
it was still
available.
good. It was still good.
I mean, if you play a custom shop, you'll be like, damn, We talked about this, how like the varying levels of guitar that you go up, you just continue to go, damn it, this is good. It's like playing vintage stuff. You're like, damn.
It said, okay. Saw something about some pedals. Oh, thank you. Thank you, I am Reedy.
Love your pedal choices, yeah.
They were hours of deliberation with care and love.
I mean, We can talk about this real quick too. I am running 2 pedal boards right now, and Jonathan makes fun of me, and he has every right to.
He's doing them at the same time. Like mine are for different amps.
Can you believe this hypocrite would make fun of me?
I also want to say I watched a piece of my own video and I bored myself, so I apologize to all of you. But the point was good. I was trying to make, I think. But anyways.
Well, you know, it's fun. Like I put these 2 pedal boards together and I sent you a photo of it and I was like, how dumb do I look? And I put them both in one SKB case and like you got a rug in there and stuff, right?
Well,
here's the thing though, and I told this to you. I'll let you finish here in a second.
No.
I got something to say.
I'm gonna let you finish.
I'm gonna let you finish, but first,
bring out Beyonce.
I sat there and I was putting together this pedal board and I was like, man, I really want to be able to get this sound or that sound or whatever, right? And I thought about it, it's like, you only live once. I only get to be 26 once and play guitar and go out on stage and do all this fun stuff. And, you know, of course I get to do it again and again and again, hopefully, right? But I'm like, well, I might as well full acid and get the craziest sound that I want right now.
Yeah, why not?
While I have the drive to do it, the time to do it, the energy to do it, and the access to it. So I'm like, let's do it. Let's let it rip. And I make fun of myself the whole way because I have 2 pedal boards right now like a jackass.
But you know, the music you're playing
fun.
lends itself to crazy, like cool
Yeah.
tones like that. So why not?
I mean, I don't know. You know, it's like, why do we get all this stuff? To
Well-
hold on to it and see it, or to like do something crazy?
I'm gonna look like it. This is a horrible thing, but we're live streaming, right? So we're honest in live stream. I'm thinking I'm about to order a 3rd pedal, like the actual
you
board,
are.
because
Don't do
so
that.
I split them.
We'll talk after the
Okay.
I got you. Yeah, don't do that.
I split them, right? And then I was like, well, I'm still the one that I did for the dirty stuff. I'm still having to pull 2 things off and replace them for acoustic gigs. I'm like, this kind of defeats the point. So now I would want like a nano, just with my looper, some sort of preamp. If I get the Fishman, the boost is built in, and then maybe like a reverb or something.
Like an acoustic board.
That's like smaller than this. You know what I mean? That's just like.
Yes, I like that. That's cool. Hey, so
Then I don't ever have to really pull anything apart unless I just change something.
with your 2 pedal board video, how are you running them? Is it the effects loop thing or no?
So the dirty one, right?
Yeah.
This with the Pelly John's stuff. I can do either way. It's literally one little patch cable. Pull it out and run the effects loop. But occasionally I'll do gigs where I'm only using the low gain channel on the M80, and because it's just a different sound, right? And I know I'm not going to switch, and I just run it straight in.
That's
I don't
cool.
care.
Yeah.
So.
That's really cool because that's what I basically did. I got one board that's all drive,
Yep.
fuzzes, crazy sounds, and octave effects. And
Is your other board all in the loop?
No, but it can be. I think what I'm going to do is run the M80 and then have that going into it sometimes too. I don't know yet. I'm between that and maybe, I've thought about maybe even running like 2 amps and having like one that all the weird effects go to. So here's my thought. You ready? It's about to get crazy.
I'm gonna run a wet, dry, wet setup.
Yes, I'm gonna have an A-B-Y switch, and I'm gonna have it coming in, right? And I'm gonna have the A sound going to an amp that all the drive sounds are going to, and then the B sound runs through those other pedals and goes over to the amp. So there's just like a clean amp that catches all those sounds and then miking them both up. I want to see kind of what I can get with that and having like 2 sides set up.
First off, I think that's cool. Secondly, I think everyone at least thinks through that at some point.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be cool? I don't think everybody goes and like follows through and does it. You'll try it, and I know that you'll look it out.
Yeah.
I've told you this before. I've said this before on the channel that I've one time I bought amps in the idea was to run like a wet dry stereo thing all the time, and I did like 2 gigs like that. I was like, yeah.
It just wasn't, yeah.
Well, but I mean, I wasn't doing like original shows. It was like lugging them down to Broadway in Nashville. I was like, this is dumb. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I just quit. But I could see myself doing that now.
Yeah. Well, with the stuff we were talking about yesterday, musically, like with your stuff and everything, if we do something like that, and I think we should do it, even if it's solely like something that we just record with like the new Rooster setup, I think we do that and we do crazy sounds like that, and you could actually set it up and it would work with, and you only got to do it the one time to record it, and then if we ever played a show,
well, I
it'd be
mean,
nuts.
every show I've seen lately, like a big, I'm talking about bigger bands, it's rare, man. You see like guitar acts with 1 amp.
Yeah.
Jason Isbell is running a bunch of amps.
Oh yeah.
I had a ticket to go see Joe Bonmassa. Shout out to my friend Mike for giving me a ticket.
Yes.
But Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's like I don't even know how many amps on stage. But even Josh Smith, who was playing, sort of like backup guitar, he was running 2 amps. You know, I don't know. I feel like it's becoming, at least, and it probably has been for a while for like national touring acts. Like if you're to that point where you got buses and people are setting your junk up, and you got a tech and you're on rig rundown.
You can carry however many amps you want to. It doesn't. Really
That was always my thing. The other thing that I find weird about it, man, is it takes more sort of like sound check setup time to make sure they're in phase and blah blah
Right,
and all that junk. Because
and sometimes you don't have that time, right? Like if you're pulling in somewhere or you're doing any fly gigging.
Well, I took back before I traded that Super 15 back in for the M80, I took a Super 15 and a Twilighter to a brewery gig one night.
Yeah, you did.
Sexy, right? But I couldn't, because I didn't have a sound man out front.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I ever got the right mix of them that night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it bothered me all night.
Well,
and I'd probably get you. I'm sure I would figure that out eventually.
That's the whole trick in itself, right? Is like blending it, and then, it is a tricky setup to do. But I think it is cool.
Well, I can't decide if I want it where I can run them both at the same time, or switch between them. Because I had this master plan where I would like have this massive board, and part of it would go into the effects loop of the M80, and part of it would be routed through the Twilighter, and part of it would go into both of them.
Yeah.
And I could control what was on when, but that's also a lot to think about when you're like a trio and you're playing and singing. It'd be different if I was just the guitar player, but anyways.
Major.
I suppose we should.
That's right.
Soonish we got to get ready to go open the shop.
We'll run through a couple of new comments and just say, we missed a lot.
We missed a lot.
It's so many like flying through now.
Oh my God. Somebody said, I think it was Mayor McCheese, said he played a few Murphy Labs and they'd all have issues. And I was just curious what the issues were.
Yeah.
And were they early ones or were they like recent ones? And I have no bias there. I was just curious.
Yeah.
Bobby says he used to haul around 18 cab as a bassist in the early. I mean, that's just what everyone did. You know what I mean? Everyone used to have those big cabs like that, right? And now we're just like, ugh.
We got a lot of rooster questions. I will say
we burned it down.
Yes, it's over. No, I'll say as much as I possibly can, and that is that Derek actually just stepped away for a second, so I don't want to give away any master plans before they're truly announced. But we did.
Or now's the time.
Now's the time. Shoot.
He's gone.
We modified a little bit. Super cool. More based in live recording, studio recording, live show capture stuff. So it's just a different vibe. Whenever we got a couple of things that we've already done there, once they're done, then we can fully announce what we're doing. But that's kind of what it is. I don't want to share too much and spoil the surprise, but just know that's kind of where it's leading.
Well, and I think the cool takeaway is when it gets going, there's potentially lots more content for you if you're not here and can't come to the
Yes. That's going to be a big thing. We've been working on that, and I think we got the first 2 things sort of in the can. But we'll try and keep you updated on it, and once they're out, then we'll go full blast. And I want to talk to you after this about, I had an idea while we were discussing this.
Okay.
Cool stuff.
All right.
Things that everybody here would probably like. Maybe we'll make it special for everybody, and it'll be a neat little thing to do.
Rooster Romper Room coming
Boom, boom.
soon.
There you go.
All right, is that it? Anything else? Okay, I'm seeing Mayor McCheese saying that it was like things that should just be right on guitars that expensive, like fretwork and stuff. And I get
Fret
that.
buzz,
That is
Yeah.
That is disappointing. But I see that some on all sorts of high end or boutique guitars. So
Yeah, man.
anyways,
There you go.
there you go.
Yeah. Well, all right, guys.
Hey, thank you for hanging out with us. It was fun. Go check out the Sweetwater 100 whatever things list.
Yeah. We might do this every once in a while or something.
I think it's neat. I think it's neat just to see what people are buying, right?
Yes.
And it's neat to see like where my list of things I want stack up on the list of obviously what other people want.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun. So there you go.
That's right. There you go, boys.
All right.
We'll see all you guys later.
Yes, we shall.